Hi everyone, this week is a slightly less exciting week. We're going to be talking about visas, medical insurance, banks, all that kind of stuff that we have to do, but might not be as exciting as, surfing.
Yeah, definitely. So we applied for, the way we planned to do it was we had two visas that we applied for. One of them was our main visa that we really wanted to get because it was a skilled visa and it gave us better rights. And the other one was more of a backup that we were going to be able to get a lot easier. So
yeah, we applied for the working holiday, which is the sort of easy one, which anyone under the age of 30, if you haven't screwed up in life, you can probably get it. So it allows you 1 year in the country. You can only work for 6 months at places, and if you want to extend the visa for a year, you can spend 3 months working in a rural place, like a farm or something. So yeah, we had to get sort of passport photos. We had to prove we had 5,000 Australian dollars. What else did we have to do?
We had to have birth certificates. We had to prove that birth certificates. One of the things that was a little bit more complicated was that all of these documents had to be certified, which basically means that we had to find somebody within the community who was of a certain profession to be able to say that he had seen the original documents and seen the photocopies of the documents or the PDF copies of the documents that we provided him with, and he could sign it and say, "I hereby certify that this is a true likeness," or something like that. It's something along those lines, and then he has to sign it. When it came to proving the money that we needed, and when it came to proving that we had 5,000 Australian dollars, I was a little bit worried that we would have to have it transferred into Australian dollars before we could prove it. However, what we did was we got online statements showing that we had £3,000 each in our accounts, and they were fine with that. So that seemed to work quite well.
So our other visa is all thanks to him. So it's a skill visa, and it's a recent graduate one. So
the visa is a skilled recognised graduate visa, and basically because my degree is from a certain university and is vaguely qualified as an engineering degree, I qualify for this recognised graduate visa because my course is accredited through the British Computer Society, which is accredited by the British Engineering Council, which is then accredited by the Washington Accord, which is recognised by the Australian government. So that big stream of things means that we can get this certain visa. That was a little bit more complicated.
We had to get police certificates. So basically, it's a piece of paper saying you've done nothing, and it costs £100 to get you to say that.
The bit that annoyed me was the fact that you apply for it online, and it takes 10 working days? Yeah, 10 working days, and that's their kind of processing time, and then they send you out a printed copy of your police certificate, and that's fair enough because it's got a hologram on it, I guess. However, yours came through really fast. Yours came through in the 10 days. But mine didn't come. Mine was apparently lost in the post. But then when I phoned them after the 10-day period and said I haven't got my certificate, what's happening? They said that I had to wait another 8 working days before I could report it as lost in the post.
So it ended up being a month after it was meant to be here that we actually got his certificate. So that pushed us back a wee bit.
So there's a top tip. If your visa requires a police certificate, apply for it so early. Just apply for it as soon as you can.
It's also worth saying that I said we should apply for the police certificate months in advance, but someone thought, no, we'll just wait.
Another part of this visa was that, so because I am awarded the visa, Rachel comes on the visa as my de facto partner. So
sounds romantic.
This was quite surprising for us when we found out we could do that, because we thought originally that we would have to be married or we'd have to be engaged for that to work, but we didn't. So that was great. We had to prove that we've been together for 12 months.
Yeah. So we had to get loads of photos, and we had to write this sort of romantic history letter, like explaining our relationship and what's happened in it, what our future plans were, and all that kind of really cheesy rubbish, to try and prove that we've been in a relationship for over 12 months.
We had photos of different places we've been to. Yeah. We had an email confirmation of a flight that we'd both been on. We had a wedding invitation that had both of our names on it. And we had like leases and things.
Yeah, and leases as well count. If you've been in like a 1-bedroom flat with the 2 of you, then it's fairly obvious.
The visas actually came in reasonable time. Our working holiday visas, the first visa that we applied for, came in within a week.
Yeah, something like that. Ridiculously fast, which is what I was expected. It's not meant to take very long for the working holiday to come through.
However, what was more surprising was that the recognised graduate visa, which is meant to take up to 7 months to process, and I've only ever seen it take 3 months on mine somewhere.
Like the quickest we've seen was 3 months.
Yeah, and we got it in a month.
So I don't know if that's just because of the time we applied, or if we had all the relevant documents, we uploaded them already, so we didn't need to be assigned a case officer to go through it and help us upload all the documents. So top tip number 3, have all your documents ready. Just do it yourself, and it comes through really quickly apparently.
Yeah, that could be the reason. Who knows? It might just be the timing. We applied in
May. End of May. June? No, June, because we have to wait for your police certificate. We're going to apply in May.
Yeah. So we applied at the end of June, so maybe people don't apply at the end of summer or the start of summer. Who knows? Another thing that clearly we have to have when we get to Australia is bank accounts, because we need somewhere to have money paid into us. A lot of banks in Australia seem to offer a service whereby you can apply for the account and open it and give them all the details that you need and almost open it completely before you get there. And all that you then need to do is turn up at a branch with your passport with some sort of ID and a proof of address, I think, or an address that you now live at, and they open up the account for you. It means that if you so choose to, you could pay money into the account before you get there, which means that when you arrive and show your ID, you can literally take cash out at that moment. However, I'm not really sure how comfortable I am with that, so we might not really do that.
So yeah, that's going to be our first thing to do on the day we wake up in Australia. Will be go to banks, open account.
Extremely jet lagged.
We're planning on taking over a wee bit of cash, just what we've got in Australian dollars already that family and stuff have given us, which will hopefully last until we get debit cards and can actually use money.
And then after that, we'll do online currency transfers. There's a lot of online companies that do bulk currency transfers at reasonable rates. So that'll be the plan once we have actual account numbers and all that sort of details.
So medical insurance is also something that we have to deal with. The Australian healthcare system is kind of like a mix of private and public healthcare. So obviously here in the UK, we don't need to pay for healthcare. We have the National Health Service for now, so we don't have to pay for healthcare if we don't want to. But in Australia, it's a bit different. There's something called Medicare, which is the public healthcare system, which we don't apply for because we're obviously visitors. We're not permanent residents or citizens. So we have to get medical insurance, particularly because I'm fairly accident prone. So I will be going to the doctor's hospital a number of times throughout our period in Australia, especially if we're doing anything dangerous like surfing.
Yeah.
So one of the things, there is a reciprocal, I can't even say that word. Reciprocal
health agreement.
Healthcare agreement between the UK and Australia, which means if we do go to hospital in an emergency, the UK government will help pay for our medical insurance costs.
The most basic form of medical insurance, which doesn't include glasses and dental and stuff like that, it looks like it's going to cost us about $600 a quarter, which obviously as people who come from a country where
you don't have to pay.
Yeah, we don't have to pay. It's a big expense, but it's better than getting to the hospital and then them saying this X-ray is going to cost you
10 grand.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. So it's something we're going to have to do. I mean, the reciprocal healthcare agreement is a bonus, I suppose, but as far as I understand, they only pay a portion of the bills.
I don't know. I think it's a bit odd because you're quantifying your health. You're like looking at yourself and saying, can I afford this trip to the doctors? Am I really that ill?
The thing that messed me up most was the fact that on certain medical plans you get like one ambulance trip a year.
Yeah, so if you break your leg a second time, you then have to pay 10 grand for an ambulance.
It's like
so can I walk to the hospital?
They're like, yeah, it's in an ambulance. So I better make the most of this ambulance trip because it's the last one I can do this year.
No, medical insurance is weird.
So with 2 weeks to go, how do you feel about our pending relocation?
I guess, well, for me, I'm a bit sort of torn. Obviously, I'm ridiculously stressed right now, but it's not anything to do with Australia. It's purely to do with the fact my dissertation is due in a week and a half. and I have still got 7,500 words to write. So at the moment I'm so stressed on that. My brain's just happy about Australia. So yeah, I'm feeling quite happy about Australia because everything seems to be sorted. Like, we're doing okay with packing, we know where everything's going, we've got a place sorted, flights are done, everything seems to be okay, and it's just my dissertation is going a bit But that'll be over soon, and I finish work next week anyway. My last day is Saturday, which will be pretty exciting, and then I can just get head down, focused, Australia dissertation done. How are you feeling?
Actually okay today. For the last couple of weeks I feel like I've had this feeling of dread at the pit of my stomach every time I think about it. Like, I'm scared that things are going to go wrong, that stuff's not going to get packed properly, we're going to miss a flight, we're going to get there, it's going to be awful, it's going to rain all the time, people are going to hate us, no one's going to give me a job. And all of those feelings kind of swirl around in my head sometimes. However, today I feel fine, and yesterday I felt fine. And the only thing that has really changed in my life lately is that on Friday I finished my job. So now that I'm unemployed, I feel happier. Well, I don't know, but I feel better. So yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, we're sorry this has been a slightly less exciting, but very necessary sort of foray into what's needed to get to Australia. If you have any questions for us, or if you want to give us advice, or
Advice would be good.
Yeah, please let us know in the comments and subscribe. And yeah, bye for now.
Bye.